Hello, Jen here with a layout for Scrapshot's design team. This is the Twilight ink collection from 3/4 design. 3/4 designs. I always want to put the S on quarters and not put the S at the end of designs. I don't know why. But this is 3/4 designs collection, and what I have here is their full collection pack. So this has tons of paper, 12 by 12 papers. It has a bunch of ephemera. It has cut apart ephemera. It has like not 3/4, but like 1/3, kind of sized strips of different patterns. I also have the Gimme More set that gives you some rice paper and some vellum and some more cut apart pieces, just a whole bunch more stuff. So you can see here I'm kind of going through all of the papers, and if you know me, if you've been following me for a while, when I showed this as an unboxing, you probably were thinking to yourself, Jen's not going to know what to do with this because it definitely isn't the type of thing that I would reach for to scrap with on my own. There are some elements to it that absolutely drew my attention, like those little animals, like that fox that you saw, that kind of has like the realistic photographic look to it, but then parts of their body have this beautiful blue floral kind of section that has been painted in. It's stunning. I love that kind of stuff. The inky blue color, the green, all of that is super, super me. The distressing and the way that the pages are kind of finished for you, that's what I struggle with. Now, if someone had given me this and I wasn't a scrapbooker, I would think that these were beautiful to frame. And if you can kind of see on this page, you'll see that there is some sort of picture on every page, a little bit of florals, a little bit of distressing, and then blue drawings, like just the sketch, just the lines of the drawing. So again, if you kind of catch as I'm flipping this paper back and forth, there is the dresser, and then there is a candelabra, or like a candlestick, not a candelabra, just a candlestick that is just drawn in the dark blue. It's really lovely the way that they've integrated kind of that more real looking imagery, that like photographic imagery, and then they've sketched almost. So there you can see flowers that are sketched in the back that are in that dark blue, like inky colored blue. So the pages are beautiful. They're really, really gorgeous. And they would look really beautiful if you picked a couple of them that you liked and just framed them in a bedroom or even in a bathroom, because they do have that type of furniture to them. In a library, because there is sort of a bookish leaning theme to them. So yes, I definitely would think that that's where I would go. But scrapbooking this kind of paper, I find it hard because you don't want to cover up all of those beautiful pictures. You want to be able to showcase that. So I feel like I have to take everything that I'm going to add to the page and try to cram it all into the empty spaces. And there's lots of other people who are really good at layering on top and just, doing their own thing. But I definitely struggle with that. But I think it's such a stunning collection, and I'm actually really glad that I got it because it is making me kind of think outside of the box. And so the first thing I did as I was doing my unboxing and as I was sort of, looking through all of these papers is I noticed that there were some bunnies in the various imagery. And so I thought, okay, I can work with bunnies. I have 3 boys, yeah, like young boys that I know. I have some pictures of them with their Easter baskets and things like that. And most of the time, Easter collections are very light and springy. They're often like, I don't necessarily think of colors kind of in that gendered way where you can only scrapbook pink for girls and you can only scrapbook blue for boys. But I do think like the light springy colors often kind of lend themselves to a bit more of a feminine feeling. And your spring collections are usually those light pinks, light yellows, that kind of thing. And this has some like darker tones, and I thought it's a bit more masculine. It's a bit more of kind of like a boy's color scheme, and then it's got these bunnies. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a little Easter layout and use the colors here. So I use the B sides of the papers. I definitely went through the papers and kind of, picked which A sides were my favorite, because that's the one thing I will say. You get 2 of every B side, but every A side is completely unique. And I think that's okay. Sometimes, we like when you get 2 of every page because you don't want to have to pick. But I think with a collection like this, there's probably some papers that you're sort of more attracted to, or the imagery is just more relevant to you than others. And so I just went through and thought, like, the one paper here that I've been using has a dresser on the back. I couldn't necessarily envision what kind of project I might do, what kind of page I might scrap that has a dresser. So I picked that one. So I kind of did that and picked the 3 pages that I was okay sacrificing the backs of in order to get the solid colors on the front side. And that also left me with some centers here, because you saw I kind of gutted them a little bit just because this is quite thick and heavy cardstock. And so I wasn't just being stingy, but I was also trying to make this not necessarily 3 pages thick and then adding a bunch of stuff to it, because it is very nice. It's a nice, thick, heavy cardstock. So I gutted where I could so that I could use the solid colors for matting and things like that, like you see here. In a couple spots, you sort of saw me flipping back and forth to decide which way to orient the paper so that I could cut. So I have a little bit of floral that I can fussy cut around. And then it did come with those extra strips of pattern. And so that's what I've used as my 4 strips going across the bottom. I didn't pre-cut those. Those actually came that way as sort of like just, 12 by 3 inch strips, or I guess 4-inch strips, because it's probably a third of the page. So it came like that. I got 4 of those strips in the kit. So I just used those. So I kind of, picked the patterns I thought I was okay with losing, and then used everything else to kind of compensate so I didn't have to gut any other pages. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the rest of the collection, but I do think I might frame one of them in my little kind of bookish reading area. I have a library. I have over 1,000 books in my own library, and I do have a bit of kind of bookish art that I put up, and there were a couple that I thought might look nice. But I will definitely also, I think, create some of the examples that they have on the back sleeve. So if you go through the whole collection with me in my unboxing, which is a couple videos back, you'll see that there's the front cover that shows you everything from the collection, and the very back cover, which is on the back of one of the pattern papers. It actually has 6 or 8 layout designs that you can use if you aren't sure how you want to use the collection. So I think I will go ahead and pick a couple of those that I really like and put them together, kind of follow them and show you some examples of what you can do with these papers, especially if you're someone like me who struggles a bit with those really beautiful papers and you don't want to cover up the art that's on them, I think I'll go ahead and follow the instructions that they give. Or I guess they're just pictures. They're not like full instructions, but it's at least an idea, and I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of those. But I thought this one was kind of cute, and it went with the whole boy thing. The fact that my son has a little Yoda basket and that green kind of stands out in all of the pictures, I think is just funny, and one of those weird things where it plays off of the green that I'm using in the pattern paper. So that kind of worked out too. And then I went through and, oh, here you can see, this is one of the little floral sections that I kind of made sure I didn't cut into. It was on the back of one of those larger papers, and now I can kind of use that as an embellishment. But I went through all of the ephemera that this comes with. There's a sticker sheet. I went through the extra pack of stuff that I have, and I found the bunnies that I wanted to use. You can see that I did actually fussy cut out all of the animals. I thought it would be really fun to try to get all of them onto this one layout, but I couldn't make them work. And here's the thing. Are you like me, or am I overthinking it? Part of the reason I couldn't figure out how to make them work, I just couldn't get it to like lie in a way that I felt was aesthetically pleasing, is because all of the animals were facing the same way. I don't know if you kind of saw as I was playing around with them at the very beginning. They're all looking in the same direction, and I needed half of them to be looking left and half of them to be looking right, so that I could place them across the page and kind of make it feel like they were balanced and that they were evenly weighted across the page. Because there's something to me, and maybe this is just like an old school way of thinking, an old school kind of scrapbooking design way of thinking, but there's something to me about the idea of it being more balanced and more aesthetically pleasing when your characters, anything that has eyes or anything that has like a very definite sort of front end, back end, or top end, bottom end, that includes even like trees and stuff like that. I find it that they have to be facing something. There has to be a point. So like this cute little bunny that I'm working with right now, I wouldn't put that bunny on the left-hand side of the layout facing out of the layout, like it's looking away from the layout. That just doesn't make sense to me. So that little bunny needs to find a place either on the right hand side of the layout or the right hand side of something like a picture. And not all of the animals were facing in the right direction. It was just not working for me. So I got rid of the other animals. I still have them. They're absolutely stunning and beautiful. And if this whole collection was just this beautiful garden collection with all of those animals, I would use them all up in a heartbeat. So yes, they will make an appearance somewhere, but that is why they didn't end up on this layout. They weren't all facing in the right direction. So leave me a comment and let me know if that is just me being an overthinker, or if that is something that you guys kind of have too, or what other quirks like that you guys might have. But you can see here what I ended up going with is some florals and a couple of bunny images and a bunny sticker down at the bottom. I grabbed some Simple Stories blue alphas and just made my title Sweet Bunnies. I didn't know what else to do, but I thought that was kind of cute. And that blue kind of matched. So I added that. And then here you can see my little sequins and a splatter of some mist. And that's it. That's my layout. There was a lot of fussing and moving things around and trying to figure out the design, but in the end, I think it turned out very cute and very sweet. It's a beautiful collection. Please go to Scrap Shots. The link is down below so you can go and find the store. Grab this collection. It is stunning. You will love it. And that is it for me from now. So until next time, subscribe if you haven't already, and happy scrapping. Bye.